Let's now look at the next game in the series, which was called Day of the Tentacle, released in 1993, so it's a year on from Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. In terms of storytelling then, if we have a little look at the game and how it looks, again point and click. It's got the same command terms, so 9 different command terms, the same as Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. It's only a year on. Same inventory with a graphical inventory. The graphics have very much improved though. If you look, they're far less pixelated and there's more detail, also more colour, and also you get a better point of view. So if you look, it can go back and forwards to give much more of a three-dimensional perspective. So 2.5D, somewhere between 2D and 3D, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, and much more perspective. It focuses around this guy, Bernard Bernoulli, who's a scientist and has a time machine, and his 2 assistants, a dippy girl called Laverne, who travels into the future because you'll see that the time machine develops a fault, and a guy, a rather overweight heavy metal fan called Hoagie, who gets transported backwards into the past. In terms of storytelling then, the idea of time machines, whether it be through Blackadder or the novels from H.G. Wells, you can look that up, or maybe even sort of Harry Potter, something like that, or Doctor Who, is a common theme throughout lots of films and TV series. It links in with, you get excited, you get engaged by the thought of time travel and time machines, and also it enables a little bit of history to come in, so Hoagie, who travels back in time, some of the historical events are true in the sense that they actually happened. The way that they happen, again, is a little bit fictitious, so they wouldn't have happened the way that they do within the game, but actually some of the historical events are true in the sense that they did happen at that time. So in terms of storytelling as well, you'll find that there's some mutant tentacles because we've polluted the water supply. That's true of today. Lots of sewage and plastics entering the oceans and the rivers, and you know that's a concern for environmentalists. And that's happened, and so some of these tentacles want to take over the world. So another idea that sort of aliens or mutations taking over the world again, a little bit like Doctor Who, it captures people's interest. So we've got time travel, we've got different characters, we've got historical events, and we've got mutant tentacles wanting to take over the world because we've polluted the water supply. So lots of current themes and storytelling that would link in for engagement, to capture people's interest. The story develops as well. It's quite interesting because if 3 people, if Laverne goes into the future, Hoagie goes into the past, and the main guy, Bernard Bernoulli, stays in the present, then things that happen in the past affect things in the present, and something in the present affects things in the future. So maybe you've got to solve a problem in the future by doing something in the past and the present. And you can switch between the 3 characters. So now, in terms of narrative structures, it's far less linear. So you can switch between the 3 characters at any time, and you can go into the past, the present and the future, and affect things that happen in the future by doing things in the past. You can also transfer items using something called chronogens, which are portable toilets, a bit like the portkey in Harry Potter. I'm even wondering whether that was borrowed from the idea of Day of the Tentacle, to use portkeys in Harry Potter that might transport people back and forth from place to place or in time. In terms of far less linear, therefore far more complex in terms of the way that you need to solve things between different characters and different time periods, historical, and in terms of point of view, you'll see that it's far more 3D-like, so certainly 2.5 3D, giving a perspective and allowing characters to move back and forth within the frame of the game.